Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Stina and today I am going to share with you two of my absolute favorite vegan meals. They are also super easy to cook and they're really cheap. Let's get started. Okay, so first we've got about 3/4 of a cup of oats, some frozen blueberries. Then I've got 1 apple. I'm probably just only going to use half an apple, which I'm going to chop and put on top. I've got some cacao powder. This is real cacao powder, no sugar, so this is really good for you. I've got some cinnamon, which I love, and then I've got a little bit of maple syrup. To be honest, this is only 1 teaspoon and I'm just gonna probably put more on. I like it quite sweet. Last but not least, I've got a few almonds here that I'm just going to chop and also put on top. Oats in, 1 1/4 cup of water. Just going to stir that a bit with the cacao. With you,
still can't believe get to fall asleep with you in my bed, with you in my bed. 'Cause all my life I've worried that I'll never find the one, but you proved me wrong. I think I'm falling in love with you, with you, with you. I'll do whatever you want me to do, 'cause I've never felt like this before, and I want you even more. I think I'm falling in love with you, with you, with you.
And there you have it. That was my favorite oats that I have in the morning. Looks like this. How yummy is that? So excuse me while I'm just gonna eat this and then I'm gonna make the soup. Another thing, if you don't like apples, use any fruit you want. It doesn't really matter what you use for this recipe. I love oats because it's so interchangeable and you can make it what you want. So if there's something in this recipe that you don't like, just swap it out with something else.
Cause I've never felt like this before, and I want you even more. I think I'm falling in love with you.
Alright, onto the lentil soup. For this soup you're going to need approximately 2.5, maybe even 3 cups of spinach and kale. You need some frozen peas. You can also use fresh, but I just use frozen ones. That's about 1 cup there. You're going to need 1 brown onion, 2 cloves of garlic, 2 carrots, sort of medium size, doesn't really matter, 1 cup of frozen peas, and obviously some lentils. I think I've got about 1 cup here. Now the measurements don't really matter that much because it's kind of the kind of soup where you can just kind of put in whatever you think. So we'll just start up with this and see how we go. First I'm just going to chop the onion.
Come on, children of the sun. Come on, city lights.
Into the garlic.
Let the world be your oyster. Have them fall into their knees.
And what I do, I just cut off the end first. And then, oh, they're strong onions. And then I use the flat part of my knife like this and I just squash it with it. And what that does, it just releases all the juices and all the flavor. You can also use garlic powder. That's perfectly fine. Or a garlic, what's it called? One of those things that squeezes it. But I just chop it today, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so I just went and got my spices out. I forgot about those. So we've got a couple of teaspoons of ground coriander, maybe a teaspoon of ginger. I try not to go too overboard on the ginger because it's very strong. And then we've got some ground cumin, probably 2.5 teaspoons. We've got some sweet paprika. It can be any paprika. I use the mild one because I don't like really hot food. And then we got some turmeric as well. I'm not pedantic about the spices, I just try and keep the ratio sort of similar, except for the ginger, because that's quite strong. And next, I'll just put the onion to the side. Got the carrot. I don't really peel my carrots if I put them in something like lentil soup, because it's not necessary, basically. So, cut that up. There we go. Now, although this is a lentil soup, I kind of don't like really runny soups. So when I cook it, I kind of make it like, I call it a soup, but it's more like a stew, right? So you can basically, you can put it on rice, you can put it on sweet potato, you can even mix in some fresh lettuce, which I do sometimes, and then I put my cashew sour cream on top, which is beautiful. And then, so yeah, you can kind of eat it different ways, and I will show you at the end what to do. I made some sweet potatoes last night. I just put 4 of them in the oven at high oven, at about 180 degrees, and then I've just put them in the fridge overnight to cool down. So I'm gonna actually today I'm gonna eat this lentil soup on top of those sweet potatoes. So that's how I'm gonna eat it, basically because I'm trying to lose weight and I don't want to eat too much rice. But if you're not watching your weight, just go ahead with the rice. Okay, so to start off with the soup, I use about, I don't know, about a half a cup of water, but I'm not going to pour it all in at the same at the beginning. I'll just pour about half of that in, and basically because I don't use oil, or I try not to use oil if I can help it. Alright, so I'm just testing if the water is ready, and it certainly is. I might even turn it down a little bit. That seems a little bit crazy. When you're cooking with water and not oil, you can't cook at as high a temperature, obviously, because you're going to run out of water. And yes, you can keep adding, but you don't want to end up with really soggy vegetables.
Still can't believe.
So just added all the spices straight in and stir a bit. I think we just need to add a little bit more water, so I'm just going to do that on the side here, like so. As you can tell, a lot of my cooking is kind of just like off the cuff. I've done it so many times, but I will leave the method and recipe in the section below so you can follow it. So it's smelling really, really delicious already. Nice. At this stage we can actually add a bit more water because we're gonna let this cook for a while, and then we're gonna add the lentils. And there you go. So basically just cover the vegetables a little bit, and you're just gonna leave that for a little bit. Just have it on like a medium heat. There you go. Let that sit for a bit. Alright, so while we're waiting for that to cook a little bit, I just wanted to show you the my cashew sour cream. I don't have a video about it yet, but there's like a million out there on YouTube and on blogs. But I just wanted to show you because it's super easy to make, and it doesn't have a strong taste, which is why I like it. So you can kind of put it on anything. You can put it on salads, you can put it on lentil soups or stews like this. I basically put it on anything, so I love it. Again, if you're watching your weight, don't use too much because it is calorie dense, but it's also nutrition dense. So that's it. and that's going to cool that right down. So it just needs a little bit of time to heat up again. And I'm just going to add added one more cup of water. So how much water you add really depends on how much is evaporating. So I just try and keep it covered at all times. And then once I've decided that I'm happy with everything and I don't want to add anything else, and I'm not going to today because you guys need to be able to follow this, I'm just going to turn up the heat a little bit, and then put the lid back on, and then that can cook a little bit. Alright, so it's starting to thicken, and I just added some salt and pepper as well. You don't have to. I usually add it at the end, but I just thought, you know what, let's pop it in. At this stage, what you can do, you can also actually add some tin tomato if you like. If you like, you could add something like this, but today I'm not going to.
Call out to everyone I know, buy me a drink and help me let go of the suffering. Oh, help me get back again, 'cause we had love enough, a bit of time, a bit of luck. Now I'm dreaming of peace of mind, getting unstuck. I don't know how to start over with someone else. Thinking of you still making me breathless. We had it good, baby, we had it bad. I let you go, now you're stuck in my head, like an all out, drawn out goodbye. Like an all out, drawn out goodbye.
Thanks for watching, guys. This is the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and let me know how you go if you try the recipes. If there's any recipes that you'd like me to try out or convert into a vegan recipe, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. And apparently they also have their nutritional values. No. And apparently the nutrients